All right, so I'll call the meeting to order. It being on or about 6:30 on January.
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Jennifer. It being on or about 6:30 on January 6, 2025, I call the meeting of the Easton Conservation Commission to order. This meeting is being conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board and commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards a quorum. The meeting may also be broadcast live and will be recorded on ECAT. So let's begin to establish quorum with a roll call vote. Carol present.
Spady present.
Vecchio present.
All right, so it seems that we may not have quorum for two projects tonight. So as a courtesy, if you're here and you'd like to make a comment, there is a chance that Commissioner Crossman may join us as the night goes on. But 718 Washington Street, we will not have a quorum for unless another member joins. And 36 Norfolk Ave, which has requested a continuance, we will not have a quorum for. So the commission has started a new initiative allowing a general public comment that'll be timed for a maximum of 2 minutes per person who'd like to make a comment. That's going to begin tonight. Couple of ground rules for the comment. It cannot be addressed to any project that's before us. The goal is to bring issues to our attention, conservation, and just generally allow a place for public feedback. So if you're here tonight for public comment, please raise your hand. We'll acknowledge you and allow you your 2 minutes. I don't see anybody. Okay. So moving on to hearings and possible deliberations, let's begin with 10 Western Ave, which is a notice of intent for a septic system.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me and see me tonight?
Yes.
Hi, Peter. We can hear you. We can see you.
Cool. Let me share a plan. Are we looking at it?
We can see it.
All right. Let me jump into it.
Please do.
All right. For the record, Peter Lyons with Collins Civil Engineering Group, representing the homeowner. This is at 10. This is a notice of intent for a septic repair at 10 Western Ave. This is a small lot, 10,000 square feet on the western side of Western Ave. In the back of the property to the west, we have a BVW delineated by, who did this one? Brook Monroe as flags 1 through 4. The 50-foot buffer is the orange. 100-foot buffer falls around the back of the house. Our proposal for this one, the existing leaching pit is in the front yard. Just not enough room for a modern septic in the front, so we're providing a leaching field in the backyard. We do have to install a pump chamber and septic tank in the front yard, which are out of jurisdiction, and then it will be pumped around the back of the house to a slightly elevated pipe and stone leaching field. The leaching field is proposed 61 feet off the closest flag. In existing lawn, there'll be about a 1 foot grade change over the top of the proposed field. As mentioned, existing lawn, no trees coming down. Soil stockpiling is shown just behind the house, kind of maximizing the distance to the resource. Dewatering is only anticipated for the tanks. We're proposing a dewatering pit in the front yard, approximately 150 feet from the resource. We have our details for the dewatering pit as well as our erosion control detail. Erosion control basically around the whole site, as close as 52 to the wetlands. That encompasses the site access, left and right sides of the house. Site's relatively flat until you get outside of the property to the rear. So we think the 12-inch filter met will be sufficient. Additionally, we've proposed 2 conservation markers in the backyard, pretty much at the edge of the existing tree line. One's right behind the shed, and then another one to the southern portion, kind of between some bigger trees, and what we show as the tree line on the plan. So that's what we got going for this one. Any questions from the commission?
Is the existing system in failure?
It is, yes.
Thank you.
It's just a pit in the front yard to our knowledge, and it is in failure.
Fair enough. Jennifer, staff comment?
Just notes that there might be leaves being blown toward the wetland in the back, and the marker that's kind of hidden by the shed should be moved to the other side where the number 70 is on the back lot line, so that it's obvious when people are walking down the path that they shouldn't be blowing leaves there.
Makes sense.
I'd agree with that. Any comments or questions from other members of the commission?
I'm good.
Jen, are we waiting on anything for this one?
Nope.
All right. Any public comment here for 10 Western Ave?
Nope.
All right. Seeing none. Motion to close the public hearing on 10 Western Ave.
Spady, second.
Roll call vote. Carol, I.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Motion to issue a permit for work and order of conditions for 10 Western Ave.
Vecchio, second.
Carol motion, Vecchio second. Roll call vote. Carol, I.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Thank you, Peter. Up next is 145 Foundry Street, which is a notice of intent for a septic system.
Yep, that's me again. I'll pop the plan up. You guys confirm we're looking at it?
We can see it.
Cool. This one, a little bigger site, a little more going on. This is 145 Foundry Street, Route 106. This is a 3.5 acre lot, mostly wetland. It's kind of up on that hill as you're coming into town, I guess. So the house is situated up on the hill, all the living area, and then we slope off pretty drastically to significant wetlands out beyond the rear of the property. And, we have a PV potential vernal pool delineated back here. We also have this is our primary BVW, flags 1 through 18. And let's see, so we'll start with the project. Basically, in general, the most compliant spot is like this southeastern corner of the lot. So that's where we're keeping everything. We are providing a new septic tank, gravity fed to a 14 by 32 pipe and stone leaching field. There'll be a slight grade change, about a foot, associated with the new leaching field. This is occurring in existing lawn outside of the 50-foot buffer area. Let's see some quick numbers. We got 58 feet from wetland flag 12 to the closest corner of the system. Erosion control looks to be as close as 30 feet for the septic portion. And then we do extend that out back to encompass a large pile of debris. And mostly, like, there's some wooden lumber, but mostly, brush debris that are going to be removed from there. So we did provide the sedimentation control to encompass all that. That stuff, I believe the proposal is to locate it just a little further away from the resource. So we're proposing a composting area on basically the toe of the existing slope, kind of maximizing the distance from the resource without making them drag the stuff totally up the hill. We propose conservation posts pretty much at the existing tree line. We show them in 5 locations with our normal details on the plan. Pretty straightforward septic repair. This is replacing a failed existing system. It looks like there's a pit out in the back to some leaching trenches or something. So more or less replacement of the existing components with a larger pipe and stone system. What else? I think that's pretty much it. We have all our normal notes, construction meeting to be set up, pre-construction, with you guys and the contractor. So any questions from the commission on this one?
I left myself muted. I apologize. One of the things that I think is just hard to see on the plan is how, if at all, is the slope changing in the area where the system's going?
Sure. I kind of just touched on that briefly, but if I zoom in a little bit, really the only grade change is at basically the closest point to flag 12. We're coming up, looks like less than a foot, really. We're just stretching out this corner just a little bit. And then this is actually a proposed kind of a depression just to help us avoid more than 3 feet of cover over the system. So this 89 contour is actually cutting into the hill, but minimally a half a foot or so.
Makes
So
sense.
all pretty minimal, no overall grading drainage patterns are changing.
Jennifer, staff comment on this?
Yeah, Peter, can you address the staff report, please?
The staff reports I did not get a copy of. Typically, if there's any comments, my office sends that to me. I did not receive them. I know we are still waiting on the natural heritage determination on this one. As of today, we have not heard back from them yet. Any other staff report comments? I'd be happy to try to address, but I do not have the report in front of me.
Sent out a few weeks ago, though, so it'd be really helpful if you come with the staff report, okay?
Yep.
The wetlands appear to be correct, but the area between 9 and 13 also appears to be a vernal pool. So does the septic system have a liner, or have you addressed that with the Board of Health?
There is a liner proposed on the northern end of the field. So basically, the down gradient end of the leaching field is contained within a liner.
Okay.
That's a Board of Health requirement, yes.
Okay. Looks like there's also more leaves that are closer to 7 and 8, so that can be addressed when the rest of the large compost pile is removed. I'm not sure the area you have selected is large enough for the pile that's there now. We can talk about that at pre-construction meeting, though, with the contractor. I'm assuming the contractor is going to handle that.
Yeah, typically. So just in general, we're talking probably expand the erosion control toward flag 7 to encompass the remaining debris.
You can do that, yeah.
Okay.
The large number of saplings and other vegetation that have been removed also requires a planting plan. And then the trash, the tires, the fencing, and the stack of 55-gallon drums. Do we know what that is? They all need to be removed as well.
That's in this general pile area.
No, in the wetlands near flag 2-3.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's making a note that this is the rare Atlantic white cedar swamp. It's the largest and only one in town. So everyone's aware of that.
Jen, approximately where is the Cedar Swamp? Having been to the site.
All out to the back, to the
In the back.
northwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, if I can get to the locust map, you can see. Yeah, see on the map here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Basically all out to the north, out in the back of the property.
That's cool.
So a few items to be addressed still.
Okay. What is our next meeting?
27? Yeah, January 27th.
Thank you. Peter, I assume that is a meeting that would work for you?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think Natural Heritage has like another week to get a determination, so I don't think we're expecting any, significant comments from them. So we should be good. And then my only question would be regarding a planting plan. As far as quantity, what exactly are you guys gonna be looking for out here?
So there are guidelines, state guidelines for replanting that should be followed.
So go out there and just kind of assess what's been taken down and replace accordingly. Okay, I didn't know if you guys had any specific, species or anything you'd want back in there. Just native species proposed.
But according to the state guidelines, yes.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Any comments or questions from members of the commission?
No, I think a lot was covered there. That was good.
Okay. Any public comment here for 145 Foundry Street? All right, seeing none. Motion to continue 145 Foundry Street to the January 27, 2025 meeting of the Conservation Commission.
Vecchio second.
Carol motion, Vecchio second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio I.
Thank you, Peter.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Thanks.
Up next is continued hearings and possible deliberations. We'll begin with 24 Summer Street, which is a notice of intent for tree removal and the addition of lawn.
Hey, how are you guys?
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Fantastic.
So at our last meeting, I think we had a conversation about getting a planting plan from you guys for
Yep.
roughly, not roughly, but I think we talked about 20. Is that the
Yep.
number that's in my head?
Yep.
Okay.
It's on Permitize. I uploaded it. It took me a few days, but it is up there now. If you want
Okay.
to.
So I can't pull it up right now. I'm having some tech issues tonight, so we'll have to, and we haven't had a chance to review it, so we'll have to continue this one more time.
Yeah, that's fine. But I did basically what you guys asked. Basically, it's a spice butch and high blueberry mix, kind of like a zigzag pattern, not like in a line. Basically, running on the outside of the buffer zone in like a zigzag pattern. I figured that would probably work as well as that. Would cover that entire U section that we were talking about before, and it covers
Okay.
about an 80-foot strip. So it goes right to about where that the fire pit that I have is on the side of the yard.
Okay. All right, so thank you for uploading it. We'll get it reviewed between now and the next meeting and get this done.
All right, fantastic. Appreciate it.
All right, motion to continue 24 Summer Street. Actually, I probably have to ask any public comment for 24 Summer Street. Seeing none. Motion to continue 24 Summer Street to the January 27, 2025 meeting of the Easton Conservation Commission.
Vecchio second.
Carol motion, Vecchio second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio I.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys. No problem.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Up next is 642 through 644 Turnpike Street. Notice of intent for construction of a commercial building and contractor's yard.
Ben, are you good with this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Samantha.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
I have Mike Peralt with me somewhere on here. Oh, there he is.
We're adding him. It just takes a minute.
No problem.
Hi, Mike.
Good evening.
Ready when you are.
Okay, so I'll share my screen just to see the plans again. We have not done revisions since we've last been here. We did receive another peer review report from Eric Diaz regarding this, which I could not find a copy of today, but I remember reading it about a week or two ago. he seemed to have one small minor comment, but basically said he would approve it based on the Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook. We are still waiting on National Heritage, but we do have Mark Cooperman available on this meeting, I believe, to talk about where that status is. I think he sent over the Natural Heritage package over to Jennifer before the meeting today.
Today after 4:30.
Yeah, I think it was like 4:34. So
Yeah, not the week before the meeting. I will not have time to review it, but okay, that's good to
Yeah.
know there.
no worries.
Okay.
I do have it up, but it's a lengthy document, so I don't know if we should really go through that right now. But yeah, we are open to any comments or questions about how everything's going.
Does Natural Heritage have a certain amount of time to respond?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how far out we are from that on this?
Well, because they need a conservation management plan, so it's more than 30 days for their.
All right.
We did get an updated CR plan over to Natural Heritage. I think they are just working on finishing up the draft document. We still need to get a draft DR document back over to them, but yeah, we're just kind of going back and forth and whatnot.
They did provide a draft SWIP. Thank you. We made edits and they were corrected within or changed within a day. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that draft SWIP is going to be used when we finally get project approval, when we file the ENOI. That draft SWIP will then be expanded to the full extent of what EPA is going to want, so we can have everything that's in the final plan incorporated into that, including better timelines.
I just noted one thing on the plan, that the timber retaining wall has, I think, a note that says it's detail 801, but on your detail sheet, it's 844. Just so you're aware of it.
Okay.
So you haven't made plan revisions. That means some will be coming, or no?
Not at this time. And
Okay.
we are still going through the planning board review process. So
Okay.
based off of, we have their hearing, I believe, on the 21st.
Yep.
So based off of that hearing that night, we may make minor revisions according to what they have, but we'll get those over to you, of course, but nothing at this time.
Our intent is to make sure that the planning group is working on and the plan that your group is working on is going to be one and the same. So we're trying to do the coordinating, so we're a little bit off. It's like an egg. It just keeps on rolling and one goes and the next one goes. So we want to make sure that we get all their conditions and requirements in before we have a final plan into you for approval. But we have a little bit of time left because of National Heritage, so that gives us that luxury to do that.
It's easier that way.
Sorry. Your first meeting with the planning board is the 21st, or that's a follow-up meeting?
That's a follow meeting on the 21st, yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Any questions or comments from members of the commission? Any public comment here tonight for 462? I mixed that up. 642, 644 Turnpike Street. Seeing none, I assume you'd like a continuance.
Yes, please.
Motion to continue 642, 644 Turnpike Street to the January 27, 2025 meeting of the Easton Conservation Commission.
Spade.
Is that enough time, since planning board's only a week earlier?
If anything, it'll allow you to have an update of what we're doing with the planning board. And most likely we will probably, do a continuation because of what their demands are going to be. But it'll give us a chance to make sure that we're coordinating and giving you an update report that night.
Okay. Sorry, Ben. You had Ben and a second.
I think it was Mike.
It was me. I got you.
Carol motion, Spadia second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Thank you. And up next is 718 Washington Street, which is a notice of intent for construction of a commercial building with a new septic system, drainage system, utilities, driveway, and parking. So I think I addressed this at the front end of the meeting. I don't know if either of you are here, but unfortunately,
We
we
heard it.
have not had another commissioner come on, and we do not have quorum for your meeting tonight, for your hearing.
So basically, it is a forced continuation, and in the interim, what we'll do is, we'll do a little coordination with Jen. We had a request in to try to get a coordination meeting ahead of time, but the holidays just didn't work. So we'll reach out to Jen probably sometime this week to try to do a little coordination and try to resolve any of the outstanding items. So by the time we get to that meeting, we should be good to go at that point in time.
Right, and I apologize for the lack
That
of quorum on the
happens.
project.
I've been around a long time with meetings, and when you volunteer for a job, you can't always make it. So I do appreciate everybody that does this type of work.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So up next is 154 and 154R Elm Street. Michael, you may want to stay on. I think your client has raised his hand.
Oh, okay.
We should let him up.
Yes.
Takes a second.
Hello,
Hi.
good night. Now my question for the next meeting for someone miss again, you can now show in the meeting what's happening. You have another meeting again? How far this go?
We'll have a quorum for you for the next meeting. So this shouldn't be a continuing issue. We haven't not had quorum yet this year, but probably in over a year.
That's over a year already. That's why.
Yeah. No, we won't.
I'm afraid for next meeting that someone be sick, you can't show up in the
No,
meeting, and that's
completely understood. We'll have a quorum for you.
all right.
Sorry for the holdup.
No problem. All right. Thank you.
Okay, good
Thank
night.
you. Good night. So up next is 154 and 154R Elm Street.
They requested a continuance to the next meeting.
Okay. So I'm going to make a motion to continue 154 and 154R Elm Street to the January 27, 2025 meeting of the Easton Conservation Commission.
Spade, second.
Carol motion, Spady a second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Like muscle memory, I'm sitting here waiting for Al to say Benson, aye. Up
Would you
next,
let John know that the hearing was continued? We didn't have a quorum, John, so there's no discussion tonight. Just so he doesn't sit around.
yeah. Yeah, good move. Next up is 51 Rockland Street, which is a ANRAD for a single family home with attached garage, driveway, and utilities.
We did not get any new information, and they must have forgotten to ask for a continuance.
Okay. This one, if I'm not mistaken, has been around for a while.
They're waiting for the surveyors to go out there and get additional information. So I know they were.
Good enough. Just like to move things off the agenda when and where we can. So motion to continue 51 Rockland Street to the January 27, 2025 meeting of the Conservation Commission.
Spady, second.
Carol motion, Spady a second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Up next is 36 Norfolk Ave.
They also asked for a continuance to January 27th.
Okay. I'll just motion to continue 36 Norfolk Ave to the January 27, 2025 meeting of the Easton Conservation Commission.
Vecchio, second.
Carol motion, Vecchio second, roll call vote. Carol, aye.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Moving on to certificates of compliance. Let's begin with 563 Foundry Street, which is a COC for work near wetlands. This is one of the files.
Ready for a full COC.
Okay. Motion to issue a certificate of compliance, 560 Foundry Street, as requested.
Second.
Carol motion, Spadia second, roll call vote. Carol, I.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, I.
Up next is 0 South Street. Or
Actually,
requested-
hold off on all of those. We didn't receive as-built plans for any of them, so none of them are ready. So you can just take no action and we'll put it on in the next meeting.
When you say all of those, the entire remainder of the COCs?
Yeah, they're all from DPW trying to close out the town files.
We might be setting a course record in this meeting.
I think we are. This is awesome. Like, what a good day.
We deserve an easy meeting for a change.
Yes, you're not wrong. Moving on to enforcement,
Wait, do we have to
453
make
term.
Do we have to make a vote on that, or I mean, a motion on that, or you're good?
Nah.
No, I think we're good to
Okay,
just let
cool.
him
Wanna make sure.
sit.
Cool.
453 Turnpike Street, Meadow Commons, stone placed in a wetland / floodplain, parking lot drainage work.
Yeah, it's along the edge of the parking lot. And so someone had called, I went out and did the inspection. They also dug a bucket with trench into the wetland. The part of the parking lot is in the floodplain. And so it was after a storm. I'm sure they had ponded water and tried to get it off there. So asked the contractor to stop, put up sediment control, and then recently the management company contacted me about the issue, and I said we should just get together with the contractor and go over what you're allowed to do and what you need a permit for. So I'm still waiting for them to schedule that meeting.
So there's a chance this won't even turn into enforcement. We may be able to address it on the scene.
Correct. Right now it's just a cease and desist.
Great. Board discussions will begin with the DOT appeal of the Washington Street permit.
Yeah, I have no new information on that. I was expecting a decision. It'll probably come tomorrow now that we have it on the agenda. But yeah, I don't have any information on that yet.
Next up is review meeting minutes of 12/16/24. I think some revisions were made with Al, and I will make a motion to review to approve the 12/16/24 meeting minutes as amended.
Vecchio, second.
Carol motion, Vecchio second, roll call vote. Carol, I.
Spady, aye.
Vecchio, I.
Conservation project list.
That was just on there as a leftover. So if you have nothing to add at this time, we don't need to talk about it.
Okay. Chair updates. I'm good.
Al's not here, so CPC updates are just Thursday. I go back for Tufts Farm again.
So the continued meeting is Thursday at 6:30.
Correct. And I'm also doing the open space presentation to the CPC committee.
Okay. I think both those things could stand our support, so please try to make an effort to get there.
Yep.
I'm saying that to myself in addition to the two of you.
Absolutely.
Do you want me to send an invite?
Yeah,
I think it'd be good.
That'd be good. Yeah.
If you can make it cool, I don't want to send it and make you feel like you had to be there, but
Is it in person? You can do it on Zoom too.
Zoom.
Send it away, please.
even easier.
Yeah, and I think the crux of what we should be thinking about is CPC and how the barn renovation is related to a public benefit.
Sure.
And I think that just the more support we can have on that, probably the better off we are at Tufts.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. I ran into Dan a week or two ago during the hunting season. We had a really great conversation. So, where his vision's going is a great spot. So, yeah, it's well worth supporting. Totally see it.
I agree completely.
so I have 4 more presentations to give. Next week, I'm doing 2. Monday night, one after the other, Board of Health and Select Board. And then CPC is this week. And then the week after is the Planning Board. I'll need to do probably 2 more just general public meetings. I'll do one during the day and one in the evening, which I need to schedule those pretty soon. Pretty close to finishing up all the compilation, blah, 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 all of that kind of work. We'll have some plan or map revisions to do, and then it should be pretty close to being ready for public comment on the final document.
Awesome.
And then I'll have to go present it to select board and planning board again because they are official endorsements that were required. And then everybody else who could possibly send a letter would be fantastic to add for to the support list. So those are going okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work. And I did pull up this nice summary sheet about all the research that I've done on all the town properties. There were about 320 properties that I reviewed. Each deed tried to find plans. There were at least, I want to say 10 or more town meeting votes that needed to be recorded. There were maybe 19 properties that were donated to the Conservation Commission, but not reflected accurately on the assessor's records. All in all, there's 86 or 87 parcels of land that are now permanently protected with the appropriate designation and recording information.
Great.
So
That's amazing.
we got there.
It sounds like it was a really fun couple of days.
Days? Yeah, that's nice. Months.
Yeah, Registry of Deeds is fun.
Months and months, and then researching all the conservation restrictions. We're making sure that those are shown on the assessor records as well. Researching all the deeds that grants that we've received for the properties, making sure those are noted on the assessor records. All to make sure that nothing is accidentally converted or sold.
Worthwhile effort.
Yeah, no, it's definitely needed, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep going with environmental planner updates. I
Yeah,
don't think
please.
we mentioned it at the last meeting, but Melissa made a great form for people to use for their concerns or complaints. So thank you to Melissa for that. Really nice form for people to fill out. That you saw the annual report. I sent that to everyone. I didn't have any comments, and so if everybody's good with it, I'll submit it tomorrow.
I liked it.
Okay. Tufts Farm soil testing. I submitted. Well, we got 3 bids. I sent the selected one to town manager today, so I'm hoping we get a quick sign off. We have 1 month to do the rest of the soil evaluation and submit documentation to DEP to sort of get it cleared up the easy way. If we miss that deadline, then we have to do a lot more stuff. So I'm hoping we make that deadline.
Yeah.
Open Space Act regulations are in draft form from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. I have a lot of comments on it. I don't know how involved you guys have been in the past. So if you want me to send you the regulation draft and my comment letter, I can do that.
That'd be great.
Okay.
We have not been involved, I think,
Okay.
at all.
Yep.
And so how familiar are you with Article 97?
Not at all.
Probably not much at all. Okay. Hey, let me just make a note. Send regs and letter. Okay, so Article 97 is the amendments to the Constitution of 1996. And so it says that basically Massachusetts is a commonwealth. We all share stewardship, responsibility, and access to clean air, clean water, land that's set aside for conservation and recreation purposes, water department, as long as it's water resources, not necessarily the well or the treatment center. Those are all sort of a communal right. And so if you have conservation property that is converted to another use, if it's sold, if you sign a lease agreement, that's why we had to go to the legislature for Tufts Farm to have a lease. Otherwise, it's a license agreement. Or other times, there's been a road project and they need to take a piece of the property to make a sidewalk or a utility crossing or something like that. Those are all conversions, and it requires replacement land. In the past, when it was just a policy. It required a unanimous vote of the Conservation Commission, 2/3 vote at town meeting, and then passing both houses of the legislature to allow the conversion, first of all. Secondly, it still had to be replaced in kind for natural resource value, not just the monetary value. And so it's, a significant undertaking because we have a no net loss of conservation land policy through the whole state, not just Easton. That, after 20 years of letter writing and calling legislators, is finally passed into a law. The regulations have just been drafted, and it has a few weaknesses that need to be tweaked. I gave testimony at the public hearing last month, but we will submit a formal letter. So I'll get both of those to you. It may still not make a whole lot of sense to you because you haven't had to do it before. But I'll send it out, and if you have questions, just let me know. The comments are due January 22nd. So I'll try to finish the letter this week so you guys have time to review it. But if you have questions, you're probably going to have to email me separately because we won't have a meeting before then.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then the last thing is, how did the tricentennial event go?
It went pretty well.
Okay.
I assume that you got the poster board with all the lovely stickers.
You know what? I didn't check, but
Well, I put it in the car and I took a
Oh, good.
picture of
Okay.
it. If it, for some reason, if it grew legs and walked away, but I mean, it was great. It was nice to be able to kind of see people. A lot of people came up to the booth and was like, "Who are you and what are you doing?" So it was kind of nice to be able to
Sweet.
talk about Conservation Commission and show them the poster board and try to get people to do the surveys. It went really well. It was very exciting. There were lots of people there, lots of families, lots of kids. A few kids walked up, was asking what Conservation Commission does, so I thought that was really neat. Yeah, can't wait for the next event, which I think is April 26th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they have something at the library, maybe on Wednesday, but we haven't asked to be part of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't seem like it's like a booth-worthy place. It's more like arts and crafts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be nice to go to.
That's great. So if you had to estimate, because I have to keep track of, some metrics, how many people do you think came by? Just rough guess.
Came by and put a sticker on the poster board, or just came by?
Either.
I would say probably close to 280, maybe 290 actually voted on the sticker with the poster board for the stickers.
290?
Yeah.
Holy moly, we gotta send you guys out to things more often.
That's awesome.
And then there were probably about maybe 450 people that actually came up to the booth.
Jesus. Wow.
That's
That is
fantastic.
awesome.
So the stickers that you had, there was like, what, 360 stickers? And some people put up one, some people put up two, not a lot of people put up three.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as they read it and voted for something, that's awesome.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. And so we got 4 more open space surveys.
That's awesome.
Nate did want me to mention that he thinks if we had those geckos, we could have gotten double the amount of people to show up. We were sitting right
more.
next to a credit union who had tons of giveaway. They had little plastic piggy banks and pens and markers and that, and people kept coming up to us like, "What do you have to give away?" And we're like, "Stickers." Put it on the board.
Yeah, not even. It was like the tiniest slip of paper with the QR code on it.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, no, we're conservation. We're not handing out stuff people to throw away.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Milkweed seeds. Give people plants.
There you go. Everyone gets a chestnut.
Yes,
We could arrange for that.
you gotta plant it.
We probably couldn't arrange for the chestnuts. But we could definitely arrange. There was some some seeds.
Oh no, Dominic just went to the annual chestnut meeting, which I was going to go to. I couldn't. And we have a lot. We have chestnuts for Easton for as long as we need chestnuts for Easton.
Oh,
no
that's
kidding.
awesome.
Oh wow.
I became a member, so I'm hoping to get my own 10 seeds.
I actually did as well. So we are in. You and I are in the game of like a
Okay.
plethora of seeds. They give them out like candy.
I
So
want chestnut
it's
seeds.
$40. Join or
I'm
whatever.
joined.
40,
I'm
whatever.
joined.
Yeah,
Do it. It's
That's
fun.
awesome.
Cool people. Good Instagram account.
good cause and all that.
Also
Yeah.
good.
I guess that's a good reason to join, right? Good cause.
Yeah. I just thought of something and I forgot. Oh, you guys were all excited about the parade the last time. I had this great idea. Of course, I think I'm going to be in Montana when the parade happens, but
Convenient.
What parade is this?
there's a parade that they're doing. Yeah, I saw it on the list of all the events. I don't
tricentennial
remember the
parade?
date though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember the date, but I remember looking at it thinking, oh, I'll probably be in Montana.
It's in June or July, isn't it?
I think it's July.
Crazy.
What's
So-
your parade idea?
Do you know those it's not quite a go-kart, but you know how you make a very simple go-kart and you move it side to side and it wiggles down the street?
Oh, yeah.
I was picturing you guys with that in like black suits and we can put yellow spots all over you and with a
Oh,
tank
come
and you
on.
be like
Yeah, really? I said thanks for volunteering for this free job.
turtles. You could be turtles.
That would be funny.
If I'm not away, I would do it. I bet Nate would do it.
Nate would definitely do it.
Good do it.
Okay. Well, that's all I have.
For the record, the Easton 300 Tricentennial Parade is Saturday, July 12th.
Yeah. I come back the 13th.
Convenient.
To be continued further.
Oh, man.
Interesting. Okay. Anybody? So I see Lucas is here. I don't know if you had anything specific you wanted to talk about or if you were just popping in. Sort
We
of
got time if you want to add something.
hanging out in the audience.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So final item is any pertinent item not reasonably anticipated by the chair. I assume nobody has one. I'll make a final motion. Motion to adjourn.
Hands up.
Oh, wait, Lucas raised his hand. Let him in.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I was just checking in. I had nothing important. I was seeing what was
Okay.
going on.
Okay.
How are
You're
you?
always welcome. Thank you.
Right on. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks. You too.
Motion to adjourn.
Vecchio second.
Carol motion, Vecchio second. Roll call vote. Carol, aye.
ADI.
Vecchio, aye.
All right. See you soon, everybody.
There you
Good
go.
night. Happy New Year.
Happy
Thank
New
you, you
Year.
too.